Hey guys, here is another buffer related operator that's called the buffer time. So this is basically useful when you want to be you want to buffer your source observables and up to specific period of time. So here's my syntax like buffer time. Then you have to specify my time span in a millisecond. So if I want to generate my output on every 5 seconds, then I have to specify the 5,000 as my argument, and every till 5,000 is gonna be hold all the values in the array, and after 5 seconds it's going to be emit on to my subscriber, and immediately that emit and destroy that value and start creating the new one, and so on. It will be keep repeating that to my source has been completed. And if you see that the source, once the source has been completed, it's also emitting my last array with the empty array. So now let's check it out these things on our code, and let's see how it's behaving. All right, then let's check it out the code. So buffer time operator, that's my simple function which I'm using for exporting and including in the index.js, just to make sure like how it's working. Just test out my code, and let's go through that my code. So my source observable is I'm taking the interval 500. So basically I'm creating the numbers from 0 every 500 millisecond. So, and I'm using the take operator to 20 just to limit my output up to the 20 milliseconds. Sorry, 20 output, 20 numbers only, because interval is like almost like infinite series. So that's the reason I just want to make sure like it's generate up to the 20 numbers only. That's why I'm using the take operator. And buffer time span, I'm specifying like a 51500, and so every 1.5 second I want to, till then I want to hold that values in buffer, and then I want to emit. So as per this logic, that should be containing the three values on my array, and once it is fill it out after 1.5 second, it will emitting my buffer and creating the new start recording in a new buffer value. And then after I'm using that source.pipe, and I'm using the buffer time and specifying the buffer span, that whatever I've seen 1500 over here. And then we are going to subscribe it, and let's console that value, and let's see how the is behaving. So let's save this file and let's try to run it. All right, so wow, that the first one is creating 0 and 1, then after 2 3 4 5 6 7. So then after my all the values are containing the three values, and because I'm creating every 1500. The reason for this one is most probably just because we are using the asynchronously, and first time we are loading the entire uh, JavaScript file, so that may be taking some other operations are taking place on event loop, and that's going to be delay a little bit on this one, and this due to that my only first value emitted on my or stored on my first buffer. But then after, that is the only operations I'm doing right now. That's it, and that's the reason that's then after I'm always getting the second three values in each and in the buffer. But you get the idea, like it's going to be like emit on every specified interval, and whatever the value I have available on my emit on my buffer, that is going to emit after that second number of second. So this is how it is different from the buffer count. Buffer count, you know that specifically size of the buffer, and here you know that when you want to emit the buffer, so regardless of my size. But that's the difference between buffer count and buffer time. So you can, based on that, you can utilize, you can see that what is the use case of operator, and based on that you can utilize on your code. To make it a little bit more fun with this one, let's try it out some other part. So let me just do this one. I'm gonna remove for the file, and let's see that how it's working. So here I'm using the range is like 1 to 10. So I'm creating the number from 1 to 10. I'm specifying the buffer span, time span is a 50 milliseconds. So what we are expecting, what should be? So since like a range is asynchronous value or asynchronous observable, so it's going to be emit the value all the value at the same time. So I don't think this is going to be remain on buffer time. So it's wait for the buffer time spent, because my first array will be already filled up with all that value. And let's run this one. Let's see that how it's working. So here we go. All right, same one. So basically, because of the synchronous observable, it's emit all the value together. So it, without waiting for the 50 millisecond, it emit everything, or store everything in a one buffer and emit on immediately once that buffer time, so once my the source has been completed. And to just make it more fun, let's try to add a schedule over here, because I don't want to make it asynchronous, I want to make it asynchronous range. And let's see that how it's behaving. Here you go. So first time I'm getting like a 1 2 3 4 5 6 and this output will be where I every time, just because of asynchronous behavior. So let's try to run the second time. Here you can see that, like, if this one is containing the 5, then 2 and 2, 2 2 2 and 4. And just because of, like, it totally depends on how event loop is executing, and how, what is the priority or what is the delay specified for my array, or when emitting the value. Just because of the asynchronous scheduler, my range is behaving as asynchronously, and it putting that value, all my works into the event loop, and because of that it's taking little more time to emitting the value. And due to that, every after 50 milliseconds is trying to create the new array or new buffer and start storing in that one. So emitting the first value, first buffer, and store the value on the new buffer in that case. Hope you have liked this video, and if you like the one, just click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be coming up with more buffer related operator as well. Thank you.